Now that my inside man's here,
That.
Uh-oh.
I
Not feeling
guess
like-
bloodworms.
Just like Rachel running off with the chest.
who's got the
Rachel,
blood
dick
pickle?
move.
All right, I have rhythm at like 40 to 45%. It's working out okay.
Okay.
I don't know, everyone
40
else.
to 45%, huh?
Well, there is rhythm going on. So
I can feel the rhythm.
sometimes I have it turned down too low, and then by the time I play it the next time, I don't actually hear it.
It's alright. I was listening to I don't even remember what, but
Miley Cyrus.
yes, Wrecking Ball was just screaming in my
Wrecking
ears.
Ball.
So when you turned that on, I may have blown an eardrum. So
So hard in love. That's what she sounds like. It's my favorite song.
She sounds like-
it's probably more like Jurassic Park by Weird Al.
I prefer Party in the USA.
Party in the USA.
I can't stop. So we left off with a bit of a cliffhanger. Actually,
Good old Cliff.
I wrote up some stuff.
되게 싫어해. 분명
Once I nearly tasted this world so long ago, but I was bound before I arrived. Bound in letters, bound in ink, bound in blood. My retribution against those who ensnared me was sublime. I whispered in a few ears, nudged a few wills, and soon my adversaries were burning for their sins. Long have I waited, lingering in the pages, lingering in the ink, waiting to be freed. More nudges, more whispers, and one weak mind was convinced I was his master. I will never again be bound to any page. This world is too ripe to be experienced. These words echo in the minds of everyone who has a mythos score.
Yeah.
Got shit for Mythos.
So those who do not have a mythos score hear a rumbling, growling, clearly a voice speaking in clearly a language you cannot understand.
Oh, that's right. There was like lightning and shit. And a storm.
Now, as these words echo throughout. I'm going to set the scene with the camera here. It's a little camera work. These words echo about the the square around which many of the office buildings of Miskatonic University reside. Above, you can see a red haze covering the moon, or maybe the rune itself is a shade of blood red. Wispy tails of clouds stringing their way across the dark night sky. The camera again moves down, at which you see a solitary figure standing in the middle of the road. The shadow being cast by the street lights long as this figure faces towards the Humanity Building and begins to walk in its direction, passing a dark car, you know, to be owned by the duo of miscreants from Atlantic City.
Miscreants.
Is it Cecil?
The camera passes this unknown figure going toward the front door of the building, in which we see our first investigator of the night is Elizabeth, who stares in horror, and I believe her last words were, guys! And turn around and run inside, running straight into the chest of a thick, barrel-chested man, one of the two aforementioned thugs.
Bastards.
Shaughnessy, the quiet one. This is on the first floor, right inside the front doors. Oh, Rachel's
Gifts are great.
stressed already.
They're spot on. I like the tape.
What's happening?
The GIF. Chris's GIF. Basically what's happening here. Amazing.
Put it back!
I'm going to thumbnail it.
So, the camera is going to then pass by Lydia and Shaughnessy, going through the foyer and up the stairs to the second floor, where we catch up with our second group. In the back of this group is Professor Milton Wagner. Right ahead of him, actually no, Alex and Amelia Clark, I believe, were both being carried by Jimmy.
No, I was walking.
You were walking.
And holding his hand.
Sure. I forget what Jimmy was holding in his other hand, but he definitely was holding Amelia in one hand. Or probably both hands to carry someone. Anyways, in front of them, Alex, and in front of them, the big bulk of Jimmy, who's going quickly around the hall, carrying Amelia, who's just starting to rouse herself. He turns the corner and skids to a halt as he sees maybe 30 feet down the hallway, turning to face him as well. The second of the hoods, Oaks, standing between you and the office of Dr. Armitage. At this point is when the voice echoes throughout all y'all's minds. The two hoods you can see stagger, both of which were getting ready to act in some way, either reaching for weapons, reaching out to acknowledge you all in some way. But everyone seems to be hearing the same voice. Those of you with Cthulhu Mythos scores understand the words as the ones I just read, and I will copy and paste those for y'all's entertainment.
Oh, hells yeah.
Does it look like Oaks was heading towards Armitage or coming from Armitage?
It's...
I mean, his back was to us, right? He turned around to see us?
Yeah.
And we were on the second floor?
We're at the second floor.
Are we is it where there's a railing and then it goes down to the first floor? Or are we in, and then did we, we went up the stairs and then is it open? Or is it
Hallways.
just hallways and you can't see down to the first floor? Okay. I envision, a railing down to the lobby. I could just knock him over and run for it.
So there is this wing is just hallways. There is a central gallery area, off of which is an auditorium where some classes are held.
Okay.
And also off of that, basically there are three wings to the building. There's the auditorium. There's a small working library, which is not as large as the main Miskatonic University Library. And then the third wing has most of the office, which is where you are now. But in the middle of all that is a kind of a large gallery, a 2-floor gallery with a vaulted ceiling, which has banisters all around it.
So if I want to throw someone down the stairs, that's where I'm going.
Sure.
Okay.
But this is where we are. We are just going to go, just for funsies, we're just going to go into... To track how things go.
Let's go. Do it.
It's always money in the banana stand.
To the turn tracker.
Turn tracker. Turn tracker.
I never remember how you reset. Nope, that's not how you do it.
That's a round.
How?
Is there a little refreshy deal on the bottom left?
Menu. Oh, here we go. Menu.
Long rest. I would like to take a long rest.
Effects. Clear all effects. Nope.
Did I get my spells back?
Damn it.
Can you get spells in this game? Could I just have a mental breakdown and zap this guy with a spell?
You
You're all gonna die anyways.
How much luck do I have to roll to cast a spell?
You don't really have any spells.
there we go.
Yeah, but I got luck.
So
Just make something up and luckily cast some kind of incantation.
Doobly doobly.
Doobly doobly,
spells.
doobly doo.
there are spells. They are really hard to do unless you've given up a lot of your life to pursuing the mythos.
Damn it.
And therefore probably given up a lot of your sanity pursuing the mythos. But there are spells. They take a lot of time to practice. With your Cthulhu Mythos score, it's possible to do whatever. It's just you have a very low chance of doing
Can you
it.
tell me what to do?
Never tell me the odds.
How much luck do I have to cast? So I could roll a. I could do it. It could happen.
Maybe. But we're going to start top of the round. We're going round orders just to keep things simple, and that'll help me track the number of rounds that have gone by as
Jimmy, shoot everyone.
well. As you sort of bounce off of the chest of the thug in front of you, Shaughnessy, Libby, you glance back behind you on the street, and the figure that was walking towards the building is continuing to walk pretty quickly towards the building. You think it's walking. You're not really sure. It's hard to tell whether the legs are moving at all. But that's what it does. Moving pretty quickly though. Jimmy, you're up first.
Shoot everyone, Jimmy.
How far are we from Armitage's office door?
Maybe 50 feet.
And where between me and that door 50 feet away is Oaks?
He's probably about 30 feet away from you.
Okay. He has seen us at this point.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't like I would say he wasn't like reaching for a gun or anything.
Right.
Especially since you didn't like come around armed, but
Right.
you know, maybe there's been like taking a prepared stance by the time like the sounds hit.
Okay.
Well, what are you doing?
I am going to continue approaching, holding Amelia and Alex's hand. And I'm going to say, motherfucker. Listen. Got a real sick broad who needs to see the doctor. Don't make this hard on me, please. It's been a long day.
Nice. Okay.
And I'm going to keep slow. I'm going to slow down, but I'm going to keep walking towards.
Okay. Are you attempting any kind of a skill check in doing so?
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna try a fast talk, and if Jimmy just kind of like rattles off at him, like,
Sure.
her eyeballs are bleeding, she's blah blah blah, the doctor knows what's up, and just like rattling off, like, blah, blah, blah. I'm a fast talk. Listen, you don't want any part of this supernatural shit.
Libby, I think you do have them.
Fuck!
Okay.
I'm gonna push it. I'm pushing it.
Oh my god.
Fuck!
Ooh.
That's my turn.
All right.
God damn it.
All right. As you start walking towards the sky, Oaks, you come across as a little bit rambling and distracted, and as you start approaching, you probably get to within like 10 feet of him, and he pulls his gun and just points it at you and says, "That's close enough, wise guy. I don't want you getting in the way of our business. We're not here for you. I don't even care about whatever professor you're talking about. We're just here after Stone. We think she knows where the money is. So you let us do our business, and we'll be on our way."
He said they're after Stone.
Lucy's stone.
Right.
Your girlfriend?
Who is not who I'm holding. Oh, yeah, Lucy. Yep, this is where we left Lucy. Yep,
This is where you left Lucy. We know he has money. We know he had money. And why? The broad he was poking probably knows where it is. He kind of backs up a few steps, but he's still facing you and pointing the gun towards you guys. Downstairs, Shaughnessy is going to try to grab you, Libby.
You son of a bitch.
So you may attempt to dodge
Not today, mister.
or do some kind of fighting maneuver back. But you can roll either a dodge or a brawl or something, depending on what you want to do.
Kick him in the balls.
I'm not that good at the brawl. What? Oh, the dog. You know what? I have the same amount of chance to brawl as I would kick him in the nuts.
But it is higher difficulty to fight back. It's easier to dodge than it is to fight back.
Oh,
You
well,
usually have to get you just have to get the same level of success if you're dodging.
Suck a duck.
Wow. Check that out. You should have kicked him in the balls.
Not today, sir.
Not today. All right, so he was using a maneuver, so he's going to roll his brawl. Not even close. All right, so he grabs at you, but you can see he's still kind of like clutching at his head a little bit and like groaning. You even hear him mutter under his breath, "What the?" First words you've heard out of this guy's mouth. But then he kind of reaches for you to try to grab you and hold you still, but you dodge back. As he swipes and misses you, he turns a little bit towards the door, and you see him kind of like squint and stare at the street, seeing the figure approaching. And not completely forgetting about you, but you can tell he's distracted by whoever's there, and his hand just sort of brushes back his jacket as he reaches for his gun. Slowly. You can tell he's just cautiously watching this guy on the street.
People on the street.
The great Alexander.
The great Alexander.
You, my friend.
Go for it, Andy.
Oh,
No, you
God.
go ahead and tell me what you're going to do. I'm going to whisper you.
Because it's not going to happen.
Give me the wisdom, oh great one. Okay. All right. So, what's his name? Oaks was speaking, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep,
So
we've gone out.
did Libby say anything about the figure, or?
No, I'm downstairs.
Okay, so we don't know that there's a figure approaching. We just heard the message.
Right.
Okay. So up to this point, I guess Alexander's had his eyes closed and was letting Jimmy guide him. He's gonna open his eyes and he's gonna start walking towards Oaks. He's gonna go, you want your money? I know where you can find everything you are looking for. He is coming, the Blood Man, and he can give you what you wish.
All right. What are you trying? Are you trying some kind of deal with this guy, or are you just trying to get close enough to do something else?
I guess I'll try to persuade him.
Spit up.
Okay.
Are you not feeling well? I'm sorry, guys. I'll be right back.
You're fine.
Oh. Oh, do I want to push it?
Push it.
Yeah,
I
why
mean-
not?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
What do I got to lose at this point?
We're doing great, guys. We're doing really great.
All right. So as you're approaching, you can see the gun shoots up, and he can't like act right now, but I would say that you were not able to get super close to him, and he looks really like on edge and not really listening to what you're saying right now. I don't know what you're talking about a blood man. I don't care about what you or any crazy ass shit you and your friends are pulling. I just want Lighter's money. So you were not able to get too close to him.
Okay.
Is that it for you?
Yeah, I guess that's it.
All right. Libby, you are a little bit away from Shaughnessy, and he seems a bit distracted by the front door. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to persuade him. So Libby kind of slowly backing up on all fours, trying to like stand up and start to move away. Look, I know why you're here. I don't know anything about money, but I do know that thing, and I'm gonna point at the dude coming down, is definitely here for something that I think might be some witch trial papers, and I get the feeling you heard it too. The best we can do is stick together. Are you with me, or are you with that thing? And I'm just going to start, like, backing up down the hallway, and I'm going to try to persuade him.
Okay.
Oh,
You guys are-
And I'm going to push it.
Good.
That's better. Okay. Everything's great. Libby's either got to make it or die. It's all good.
Yeah, Oaks seems so not Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy seems he kind of glances over at you, then back towards this figure, which he kind of blinks again because even just from looking away for a split second, the figure is like 10 feet closer, which is crazy. And he kind of looks towards you with a strange look and just nods and starts backing away from the door.
Yeah, I'm going to go into a full sprint if I can.
Okay. All right. Are you heading towards your friends?
Yeah, because I want to know where they were going, so I'm going to try to find. I've been there. I'm going to try to go back that way.
Yeah, definitely. You can do that. It actually, it's good you got an extreme success because I was going to make it a hard success to get this done.
Would you say you're going to make it hard, Andy?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It was already hard. You just didn't know. All right, yeah. You guys start heading back, and you get to the stairs and start going up towards the. So you kind of hit the stairs in the gallery area, and you start heading down the wing towards the offices. All right, Professor.
All right, so I
your
missed
friends
it.
here-
What did Alexander do?
They are both sort of approaching Oaks and trying to talk their way past him. Both of them just, you can tell they aren't coming across very convincing and just seem to be agitating him even worse. At this point, it seems like anyone nice.
Okay, so I say, Milton says, "Listen, you blithering idiot! Something dark and nefarious is out there, and we're all going to die if you don't get out of our way. If you want to point that gun at something useful, point it at whatever is making that sound."
So you yell at him. Because he has greater than 50% skill in intimidate as well, you actually need a hard success to intimidate him.
Nutters.
Sorry. But if you would like to push it, you may.
Yeah, what the hell? What's the worst that can happen?
Whatever else
I'm shooting in this.
I mean, Milton already killed several people with a sword. I mean, he's lived a good life.
Nope.
Oh, God.
All right. Okay. So you round the corner. At this point, you get about to listen, you blithering idiot, and then there's a loud bang. As you guys are now botched 3 rolls against the guy holding the gun. So
Maybe I'll shoot the bloodworm out of your eye.
maybe.
Who's it gonna hit?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Listen, I'm carrying a broad.
She's 4.
Listen,
Oh,
I'm an
yeah.
old
Aim
man.
her?
He's not aiming.
Oh, he's just. Oh shit.
He's not aiming. He was pointing the gun at you guys. He starts getting yelled at, and he.
Up, yep.
All right. So, Professor, would you like to dive for cover?
I thought you were just going to ask me if I'd like to die.
Would
have
you
a
like
choice?
to dive for cover?
I will attempt. How do I do that?
It's basically just a free thing. You can only do it once, but it basically upgrades his difficulty for the shot.
Okay, I will try.
So you basically dive to the floor as you see him. You come out and start yelling, and you just see his gun immediately.
You know what?
You.
I would dive because I want to as a player, but Milton would not dive to the ground. He would be coming out yelling in a fury and would not even think to do that. So
sure.
His last words are
you blithering
Okay. So the gun fires out. He missed barely. So you feel a chunk of plaster like spray your face as a bullet hits into the wall beside you. Libby and Shaughnessy below, you hear a gunfire from upstairs. All right. And you turn around to look towards the gunfire upstairs. And as you glance back to look at the front door, which you're now maybe like 20 or 30 feet away from, you see a familiar figure there, dressed in kind of plain, formerly white clothes that are now stained brown and red. You see the tousle-haired, youthful face grinning crazedly at you of Cecil Hunter in the exact same attire you last saw him in at the sanitarium. He is in the door about 30 feet away from you. Jimmy, it's your turn.
Okay. Glancing at... I mean, I've been looking at...
I would say you probably hear a shout from below as Shaughnessy finally says, you hear him say, "Oaks!"
Fuck. Okay,
That's all you hear.
I have seen Oaks' gun before.
Sure.
Do I know what kind of gun it is? How many bullets he has?
Yeah, it's a .32 automatic pistol with 5 bullets.
All right. How far away am I from him at this point?
Probably like 20 feet.
I am going to... Alright, I am going to charge him. I would like to tackle him. I would like to not like hand Amelia to the professor, but like gently like shove Amelia into the professor to knock him down and out of the way, and also to like cushion her fall a little bit.
Sure. You feel her stirring. You think that she might be rousing, actually.
Okay, maybe she'll use some sweet ass witchcraft shit on him.
Okay.
Then I will. No, I think I'm gonna try to kind of knock the professor over gently. I'm gonna like kind of like set her, shove her like into the professor. They can kind of like break each other's fall. I want to get them both like down and out of the way.
Okay.
As I am like rushing, I'm charging Oaks, but I'm depositing Amelia as I go.
All right, that's a lot to try to do. All
Okay.
in one turn.
Well, I mean, I can just drop her. I guess.
It's a lot to try to do well in one.
Okay. I mean, that's fine. I'll just like kind of drop her gently to the side and charge.
Sure. Yeah, you can do that.
I don't want to like drop her and let her like head thump on the ground.
Okay. All right, what are you trying to do with Oaks?
I'm tackling him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tackle him.
So you're gonna try a maneuver to get him to the ground?
Yep. I just want to like flying tackle, leap, knock his ass out, down,
right.
over.
He's gonna
so
try to counter maneuver you. So whoever he would have to roll one better difficulty than you on his.
On my brawl.
Yeah.
Get him.
I'll hurt the dice.
Get him. God, almost at
fucking
10.
shit.
You got him.
Okay. I thought he had to. Okay.
Whew.
I still beat him.
You beat him.
Okay.
It was literally a 10 and then flipped.
All right. So you tackle him to the ground. He's still holding onto his gun, but it's kind of like slams out to the side. as you thump into his chest and stomach and take him to the ground. Okay, you got him on the ground.
Can I do anything else this round, or is that it?
No, that's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Bite him in the ear.
Ha! I need him in the balls.
All right. He is going to. Actually, Shaughnessy's gonna, after hearing the gunshot, he's going to kind of grab onto your wrist, Libby, and start pulling you up the stairs. No. Oh, I don't know. He heard the gunshot upstairs, but he sees this guy walking in the front. He's just. No, he's not going to go up the stairs. He's going to stand at the bottom of the stairs, and you see him raise his gun and just point it at the figure in the front door, and just stands there for a second waiting to see if the figure stops. Which it doesn't stop, so he's just going to shoot it. And all right, so you see the bullet. The shot goes, and you see a spray of red as the figure like spins a little bit to the side, getting caught in the shoulder. It looks like where the blood hits the wall, it almost like coalesces into little worm-like clots and thumps to the floor on the wall adjacent to the door. The figure kind of just turns back and grins, continues to grin, and keeps walking towards you. Alexander, it is your turn.
I'm gonna run up to Oaks on the floor, and I'm gonna grab his gun hand. No, I'll grab the gun with my good arm, and grab his hand with my red arm.
Okay.
That's the thing. I don't like that.
Okay, you do so. Go ahead and roll a fighting maneuver, please. Like a brawl.
Brawl?
Yeah, and you can get a bonus back. So you can roll another d10.
D10.
Or just roll your ball again.
Oh.
So 22. Okay.
Oh, that's a success action.
Yep. So you were able to grab onto the gun. You could actually get it away from him if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'll take it away from him.
Sure. Your other hand reaches out and grabs onto the hand that wasn't holding the gun.
Yeah. I do not.
Okay. Jimmy, you hear a crack as Alexander grabs onto the gun and yanks it away with his other hand, grabs onto the opposite hand, and twists and wrenches, and there's a snap as Oaks' hand kind of like bends, twists backwards at an awkward angle.
Yep, that happened.
Alexander's gonna shout, "Leave! Get out! Leave my body!"
Good. Libby, you're up.
Oh shit. So Libby's gonna keep. Oh god, she's gonna keep running to find her. Fuck. Ah. Okay.
Find your fuck, Libby. Find your fuck.
Okay. What I really want to do is try to inspect these words, because this thing in my head said about being freed from the papers, which I'm assuming he was somehow trapped in these papers.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know how long it would take me to try to like skim it to find some sort of resolution.
All depends on the dice.
God damn.
Roll an extreme library success.
Okay, so
You're pretty good in the library.
I want to run towards my friends
Sure.
and then duck into a classroom or hallway or something before them.
Okay.
Like-
Yeah. So you're basically in a gallery right now, like an open gallery, which is where the stairs go up. On the ground floor of the gallery, there's the administration wing has a ground floor and an upper floor. To the north, there is a large auditorium, which has double doors, and it takes up both the first and second floor. And to the west, there is basically the working library of the humanities departments, where they keep most of their like relevant textbooks and records and things like that. So yeah, you have options for where you would want to go. If you want to go towards your friends, that's second floor in the office area.
I want a big room in case I get chased.
The biggest room here is the auditorium, but none of your friends are there, as far as you know.
Balls. Yeah, I think I want to run that way.
Okay. You can see the backs of. Actually, no, you probably can't see anyone because they went around the corner. But you can hear shouts and a scream of pain from the hallway upstairs. If you wanted to shout anything out to them.
Yeah, I think I would shout. The figure is coming! And then I'm going to try to duck into a room and then try to read these things at a frantic pace.
Okay. So you go into the auditorium area?
Yes.
All right. So you head along underneath the gallery into the ground floor of the auditorium. Ahead of you are a small, it's a large auditorium with this sloping, low grade of kind of gallery seats, at the front of which there is a small stage and a podium. And you can see above you there's a balcony as well. But yeah, you're in here. If you want to start looking through the papers, where did you want to set up in here?
I think I would run. I'm only assuming Libby would know this from her actual time that she was at the school, that if there's a way to get upstairs from inside the auditorium, I would just want to try to get to those stairs.
Say not from inside the auditorium, there isn't, but if you went through you would have known that if you would have gone up the stairs along the gallery, like the entrance from the gallery is to the balcony.
All right, then I probably would have done that. I just want to be somewhere that I'm not cornered. Like,
Sure.
I don't want to go into a small room.
So somewhere where you can always jump off the balcony if you need to.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll turn out well. I got luck for days.
Sure. All right. So you shout that towards your friends. You shout that the figure is coming, and you head up north towards the auditorium. You pull out the papers, and you may roll your library use skill. Okay.
Wow.
Regular success. So I will say that is going to allow you to add, as you start looking through the runes and sigils, as I told you before, this is a legal record. This is a record written by a lawyer, sort of documenting the case of the witch trials that happened in Massachusetts here. But it also includes many notes and figures that were drawn and collected from the defendants, including those that were called witches. And so you start looking through these, looking for some kind of formula or incantation which would help to replicate whatever bound this beast, this entity, once before. And you think you're starting to piece together some of the things you may need. I'm going to need you to start keeping track of these, anyone who does this. You now may add 2 to a Cthulhu Mythos roll to try to bind the beast. If you try to do an incantation as you start to piece together. So whatever your Mythos score, you have an effective +2 to your Cthulhu Mythos.
Okay.
Whenever you do it. I'm also going to say, of all the things, luck will not be involved in Cthulhu Mythos.
You son of a bitch.
Yep, because Mythos knows nothing about luck. All right, so you start looking through the papers up there. You're scrambling and flipping through pages. Next up is the professor. You see on the ground, starting to get to her feet in front of you is Amelia Clark. And up ahead on the ground in front of you is Oaks with a broken wrist, Alexander, and Jimmy.
Okay. He nearly shot me. And then I'm gonna look over to see what Alexander did to Oaks, and I go, oh.
Mhm.
I'm gonna walk over to what's her name?
Amelia?
Yeah, Amelia. I wanted to say Elizabeth. Amelia. And I'm gonna say, get up, girl. Get up. We need to get out of here. And that's it for me.
Okay. You see that down the hallway past 3 forms actually emerge. Lucy, Armitage, and Dr. Francis Morgan come out, and Armitage says, "What's going on out here?"
We've got to leave immediately. Do we hear the shout from...
You heard another gunshot from downstairs, actually. You heard the shout from Libby, yeah.
Okay.
You heard a gunshot, and then you heard Libby yell, "The figure's coming!"
And I'm going to point the opposite way of where her yell came from and said, preferably, we need to get out of here that way.
Okay.
Are we in rounds or not rounds?
Oh, we're in rounds.
Okay, I thought you said anybody could shout at this point. I thought.
Oh, I mean, for talking, I don't
Okay.
want to hold you guys up if you want to do some quick talking.
Because Jimmy would want to, like, as soon as he saw Armitage, would want to warn him about Alex. Flange kid started a ritual. Got Alex. He's all weird.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So next up, the horror in ink.
It's a creepy name.
I'm sure he's a good guy.
Happy Halloween! So you guys hear a grunt and a yell. Okay. You hear a grunt and a yell, Libby, from the gallery. And then you guys all hear a thudding crash behind you as you see you know, if they were in the gallery, that was probably 40 or so feet behind you. It seems like in the matter of moments, this entity that's wearing the guise, the form of Cecil Hunter, lunged that entire 40 feet, carrying Shaughnessy with him, slamming him into the wall in the corner that you guys just turned. Shaughnessy lifted about 1.5 feet off the ground, being held aloft by this creature. As you see, where the hands of this being are holding him up, writhing worms are just pouring out of his hands over the form of Shaughnessy, who's looking down in horror. Wordlessly and noiselessly, the horror in ink opens its mouth, and you hear a gasping moan come from the creature. And there's your sanity. And you see Shaughnessy letting out a similar moan as he sort of freezes in place. You can tell his legs and his arms sort of stop fighting. and he just locks eyes with this creature, and you start to see little wisps of smoke starting to come out of his eyes.
Ugh.
Jimmy.
Sure, that's good.
So the professor and Amelia are between me and the creature.
Yeah. Oaks is unarmed.
Oaks is unarmed on the ground.
And he's only one-handed.
How far away is the creature from Amelia and the professor?
Not far, probably like 10 or 15 feet.
Oh, shit.
But it doesn't seem to be like paying much attention to them at the moment.
Okay. I'm going to train my gun on the creature and like motion. I'm gonna put a finger to my lips and then motion the professor and Amelia to like get behind me really fast. And then like once they pass me, I'll like back up with them. But my goal is to stay between my friends and the creature with my gun trained on it.
Sure.
But also try not to like draw its attention if we can avoid it.
Sure. All right.
And eventually I'd like to have Oaks be between me and the creature.
Sure. Oaks, for his turn, is going to he's kind of clutching his hands, like, oh my god, my hand, what'd you do to my hand? And he looks up and sees Shaughnessy up against the wall, and he's going to let out a yell. Shaughnessy, let him go!
Don't do that.
And he is going to run up to the creature and try to pull it away. Right. So he does pretty good. So he yanks on the creature, which stumbles back a little bit. I say creature. It looks like a person, other than like the weird worm things that kind of like are spilling out of some of its wounds and ears and mouth and nose. Other than that, it looks like a person. But it's kind of spun away from Shaughnessy, who slumps to the floor and starts shaking his head, getting out of it for the moment. And broken from the soul gaze, the creature then looks after all of you and snaps past all of you towards the trio that has just emerged from the offices, the two professors and Lucy Stone. So it seems to be focused on them, and it starts to move away from the gangsters. Alexander.
Alexander's he's gonna mumble to himself. It was not a good sacrifice. They did not like him. And then he's gonna turn to the others and be like, "We must run. Get to the car." And then he's just gonna book it, I guess. I guess he can't go back downstairs, so he's gonna kind of keep running upstairs and look for another exit.
Okay.
Exactly. Get to the job.
Yeah, you start running away and looking for another exit down.
Yeah.
You must go.
Good. As you start to run, you notice that there's almost like little rivulets of red running along the floorboards, the baseboards of the walls. As you look at them, they are little streams of similar red worm-like creatures that seem to be snaking their way along all of the walls of this building. You are able to. You're running. You see these snakes of worms stretching ahead of you along the hallways as you go. You're able to find a stairway down, and you start to go. I will say, actually, the hallway probably reaches back around to the main gallery. So you go in there, you see the door. Actually, would you have left the door open to the gallery balcony?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, me?
Yeah, Libby, would you have
Oh.
the balcony?
No,
of the
my original thought was get somewhere that I could be in, have a good amount of area to run away, but to not make my presence known. So I
Okay.
would imagine I'd shut doors.
Sure. Alexander, you can roll a listen check. It would be a hard difficulty, I think. No, regular difficulty.
You son of a bitch.
Okay. Yeah, you can hear some soft muttering and pages from the behind the double doors on the balcony that lead to the second floor. Sorry, the double doors on the gallery that lead to the balcony of the amphitheater.
All right. I'm just gonna keep running.
Okay.
As far as I can go on my turn.
Sure. We'll say you get to you snake through the hallways a little bit, and you get to the main lobby gallery area. Libby, you hear the shouting coming from outside, specifically Alex saying, "Everyone run!" What do you do? Libby?
Libby. Libby.
Damn it. If I would have heard everyone run, I think.
Libby.
All right, Libby wants to inspect the book one more time, and then
Okay.
I will collect my shit and run.
All right. Go ahead and start flipping through those pages. Read that book.
Read that book.
Fail. We don't have time for failing. Yeah, I'm gonna put it. Damn it.
Okay. So as your hands are shaking as you're flipping through some of these pages, and as you do so, you absent-mindedly, in your haste, sort of like tear one of the pages, and then as you kind of like are shocked at yourself for what you just did, just ripping a page of one of these historical artifacts, you instinctively like try to hold it back together and start smudging some of the writings on the pages. It's just a mess. But one of the pages seems to be unusable at this point.
Damn it. Yeah, I kind of shove it in my bag, and then I'm gonna run towards the car.
Okay. So you are able to probably get past. You open the door. You aren't far from the doors of the balcony. You see Alex out there, who's also kind of booking it towards the front door. So you join him as you go down to the ground floor of the gallery. Next, Professor.
I'm gonna follow Alex away from the monster, and I'm going to shout, "Henry, it's time to go. Grab that girl and let's get out of here."
All right. All right. So you start hustling down the hallways. This figure begins to follow after you.
Okay.
And you see Henry and Francis and Lucy all start hustling kind of in the same direction Alex was going back towards the galley. The horror in ink.
I mean, Alex seems perfectly fine to me.
Begins down the hallway after you guys. No one's really facing him. Everyone's running away, so you're not really sure what's happening with him at the moment. You glance back. I'll say, Professor, you're in the back, so you glance back towards this figure chasing you. Not even chasing, just sort of like walking, gliding towards you. But as you do so, you see these similar rivulets of red running out from the base of their feet towards the walls and spreading up the walls and along the floorboards of this building. Jimmy.
I am going to retreat with everyone else, but I'm going to bring up the rear, going between them and the creature.
Sure.
It is solely focused on us now.
Yeah, it seems to be watching Armitage, Morgan, and Lucy Stone.
Okay, so it didn't engage with those at all.
No, it didn't seem to do much with them.
Okay.
He kind of yanked it away with one arm and slumped back against a wall,
Okay.
in pain, and then it just sort of started walking away from them.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna retreat. I'm assuming that Armitage and the rest of them are also running.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They're all following Alex.
So I'm going to follow. I'm going to keep myself in between the creature and the party.
Mm-hmm.
And if it speeds up at some point, I'll open fire on it. So
Okay.
I don't know that my gun's going to do much. So I'm just going to be ready. And if it all of a sudden speeds up or advances, I'll shoot.
Okay. The last thing you see as you turn the corner away is Shaughnessy and Oak sort of leveling guns at the creature, and you hear several gunshots go off as you're rounding the corner. You don't see what happens with that. Alexander, you are the first to get to the doors. You are the first to run. As you approach it, you can already see that the door itself is shut at this point. The sturdy wood holding a reddish hue, as it also is covered and writhing with these worm-like creatures.
I guess I'll just try to shoulder into the door. Push it open.
Okay. All right. You kind of thrust your weight against the door, and it does not budge.
All right. I'll shout to everybody else. It's shut. These worms are keeping it closed. And I'm gonna look around to see if there's. Are there oil lamps or anything around?
There are electric lights. No oil lamps.
Is the door locked or is it just stuck?
So you try the handle, and the handle seems to move freely.
Okay, it just opened.
Yep.
Do I know of another exit to the building?
Boy. You can just roll a pay attention check. Just roll your intelligence. Let's just straight up intelligence. Let's see if you.
Nope.
Yeah, no. You may have walked around this building a couple times, so you just weren't really paying close attention to that.
Just teleport.
Teleport stone.
I'll stick my arm that has some red veins and push that against the door and see if that responds at all.
Okay. So as you do that, you reach out your hand and start to touch it into the wood of the door. As your hand gets closer, you can feel your arm pulling towards the door of its own accord. And as as your hand reaches into the writhing worms. They begin to spread over your skin, and more of them start to sink into your arm.
Nope.
Oh,
And the red tendrils that you've noticed on your arm begin to creep farther upward to your elbow.
Nope.
Would you like to do anything else?
I think that's probably a good place to end my turn.
All right. All right, Libby. You see all this happen. You were the closest. You see that your friends are kind of arriving on the second floor balcony of the galley, and you heard the shout from Alex, and then he puts his hand on the door, and you see this writhing mass of worms just encasing his hand.
And my friends are coming at me.
Yeah, you're kind of on the ground floor at this point, and you see the rest of your friends are up on the second floor. Because this is like an open air galley with like a balcony on the second floor, so they're kind of coming out of a hallway onto the second floor balcony.
I'm gonna shout and head into another large open area. And I'm gonna shout, "I don't think Alex is okay. I have to finish the research." And I'm just gonna go running to try to learn more about a way to stop this.
You want to run to the library or run to the amphitheater?
Is the library like a big library?
It's decently big. There's lots of stacks of books, so
I'm going there. It's
You
my
wanna go there?
safe place, Andy.
Sure, I got you. There's like an open area in the middle with some tables, and then there's lots of stacks of books with like aisles in between them. Like
No, I
maybe a
run down
dozen
an aisle that, I used to read there
Sure.
when I was trying to avoid other people,
Sure.
so I could
This
see
is-
when they come in the door.
This is the more cozy library. It's not the big Miskatonic library, but it works.
It does its job.
Does its job. Okay, yeah, you run in there. So you run down one of the aisles in there, and you start flipping through pages.
Yep.
Go ahead, roll it.
God. Oh, thank God.
All right. You can add another +2 to your future mythos check.
Up to a +4. Okay.
That's right. Anything else for you?
No, I don't think I could really do anything else. I'm hunkering down and reading this book.
All right. Professor Wagner.
I'm going to say to Emma?
Amelia.
Amelia. I'm sorry. I don't know why I can't remember that. I'm going to tell her, go with Miss O'Reilly. And then I'm going to walk over to Alex, and his arm is encased by blood pickles, huh?
Yep.
And it's the
More
door
like-
to
more
the...
like surprise, probably.
Gotcha. It's the door to the balcony.
So he is at the front door of the building,
Okay.
which seems to be encased in these worms. And the same worms that you saw like writhing along the baseboards seem to be coalescing. Now that you're glancing around, they seem to be coalescing around like doors and windows as you're looking around the room.
Okay.
So you're in a gallery. It's probably like a 50-foot rectangular gallery.
Okay.
One wing where the three wings of the building reach off of, and then the front entrance is there.
Alex, what's happening? And then I'm gonna go up and try to see if there's any way I can get him out of this predicament.
Okay. So what you see is that he is reaching into the worms, some of which you notice are writhing around his skin, but there are definitely also some of them entering into the skin of his hand. Just sort of fading in as if they're being soaked up like a liquid. You notice on his arm there are these blood red tendrils. Like his entire hand at this point is this deep blood red, and there are these tendrils, finger-like tendrils, that are reaching up his forearm, reaching now to his elbow. You can have a quick reaction if you want, Alex.
Alex gonna just be like, run, save yourself.
All right. The professor's just gonna step back slowly, and he's gonna turn and run toward move as fast as he can toward the library.
Okay. All right. Did you took that sword with you, right? Is it still in the car?
Probably in the car. Yeah, I have a kitchen knife with me.
That's right. You have a kitchen knife. Nice. All right. So you head into the library. I would say you haven't even done a roll this round yet. If you wanted to, you could do something with Libby or do something else in the library.
All right. If I see Libby going through that stuff, I'm going to look over and quickly be like, "Yeah, let me help."
Hearing the door open, I would like cautiously wait to see what it was, and then I'd be like, "Professor, over here!" So I would call you over.
And so what do I do?
The library use, please.
Good.
Do we get a bonus because we're in the library?
Nope.
Could we have a bonus?
Nope.
Libraries. Where are you, libraries?
I am eating everything in the house.
All right. So you can chalk up another +2 to that cumulative bonus you guys are getting.
Woohoo!
Cumulative.
All right, we're up to 6.
+6.
What do we have to get up to?
This is going to add to your Cthulhu Mythos roll of trying to bind this creature.
I gotcha.
So you now have a +6% chance.
Professor, what's your base mythos?
My base mythos is probably not as much as yours. It is 4.
I think Alex might have the most.
Oh, that's not a good thing. Oh,
Jason
that's
the book.
why. Yeah, I was like, there's someone that has more than me. It's Alex. Ain't gonna happen.
I only have 3 unless I'm gaining more by doing all this shit.
No, not yet. No, you're not gaining any knowledge by what's happening to you. All right. So as you guys are all getting out to the gallery, Jimmy, you're in the back and you're watching. You see this being kind of round the corner. You notice that there are like chunks of skin and flesh just like hanging off of it in pieces, underneath of which you see just a solid writhing form of these deep blood red worms. And the thing seems to be falling apart as if it's getting kind of like shot in the back by these beasts. In fact, as it turns the corner, you see that one of its arms this falls off like a sleeve. This like fleshy skin just falls to the ground, leaving behind this tentacle-like appendage of blood red, almost liquid, massive worms. It turns towards you, and it is. I would need you to roll a sanity check, please.
Mm-hmm.
I ate all the food. Ooh. Unless that's bad that you succeeded.
I think it's good.
Okay.
So it has a lot of stuff. One second. Sorry. I also need a power roll.
What?
That is willpower.
Oh.
You gotta die. Oh. Wow.
Oh.
Not today.
Okay, so you made a regular success?
Yeah.
Why you gotta say it like that, Andy?
Yeah, why do you say it like that? I
Oh,
succeeded.
just a regular?
So, this thing stares at you, Jimmy, and you start to feel your muscles kind of like loosen and relax as it stares at you. You suffer 2 sanity damage
Okay.
from the
Okay.
horror of this beast.
Okay.
But you also find yourself unable to look away and suffering unimaginable horror as it begins to walk slowly towards you.
And I can't move.
Move away.
Okay.
She pooped.
Right. You right next to you is Francis and Henry Armitage, who are both going to seeing that you kind of like are starting to lower your gun and are just staring at this beast helpless. They both are going to attempt to pull you away from the corner.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I want to roll a 10. So Francis Morgan, actually no, this is totally a Henry Armitage thing. Seeing you there, he doesn't waste a moment. And he just like full out like slaps you across the face.
Yeah.
And you get a big ringer, but you kind of blink your eyes for a second and see this thing is now probably about 15 feet closer from when you last remember seeing it.
Okay.
And the two of you start rushing out. It is now your turn. Close shave.
Okay. And I'm still bringing up the rear.
You're bringing up the rear, but wherever you're kind of leading people, you kind of saw people downstairs. You see Alex is still downstairs at the door. The professor and Libby have gone into the library wing. In the north wing of this, you don't think anyone's gone in there. On the balcony with you, I would say Amelia's probably gone into the library as well.
Okay. So I'm with Morgan, Armitage, and Lucy.
Yep. And Lucy's just sort of starting to run down the stairs. Away from this.
Right. Okay. If I turn, can I see it? If I can see it behind me? Or I'm around the corner now? Well, it looked like gunfire was damaging it, at least temporarily.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely losing chunks.
So I would like to turn and fire and then run.
Sure. Go for it.
I still want to keep myself kind of in between everyone and it, but I want to get a shot off, but I'll just run.
Mm-hmm. Oh shit!
Bam.
Wow.
So that does maximum damage.
Maximum damage.
Plus a D10, I think. Plus the die, because it's a piercing shot.
So 12 plus 17.
Damn. Okay. So you raise your gun after you kind of get pulled away and smacked, and fire, and this thing's head just sort of like explodes, sending chunks of red like thumping into the walls like.
Is anybody keeping tally of how many times Andy said chunks tonight?
I'm trying to pick words.
No, just kidding. It's just a very chunky adventure right now.
Well, there are chunks hitting the walls like silly putty. That was the symbol
Like that.
and they fall to the floor, joining the other writhing masses. The figure kind of like slumps sideways for a second and then collapses in a heap like Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then there's just like this pool of worms which immediately start dispersing and sliding around in one big puddle.
Ew.
Sorry, Andy, I wasn't criticizing your descriptions. There's just lots of chunks flying.
So many chunks.
The puddle seems to be forming back and starting to heap up into a mound.
Okay.
T-1000 style.
Okay.
But so far it seems to have discorporated.
Yeah. Jimmy turns and runs. Go, keep fucking running!
All right, which direction are you heading, Jimmy? You got options.
Don't make eye contact!
So you have the office wing, which is basically one big hallway circle, which you guys just ran.
Yeah.
there's also a similar circle on the ground floor of the office wing, and there's a stairway basically at the other end of the circle, which joins the two. Right, so it's like two circles on top of each
So
other.
Lucy went downstairs.
She's in the middle of the gallery right now. So basically, you all are in the gallery, and there's three wings. There's the office wing, which you guys just came out of. It's just like a ring of offices over top of another ring of offices, with a stairway at the far end,
Right.
like a fire escape kind of place.
So some people are in the library.
Uh-huh.
I think it's going to chase Lucy.
Yeah, and she's down in the gallery. And then you know that there's an amphitheater at the northern end here. So what are you going to do? You could probably guide Lucy somewhere.
Yeah.
She's just running.
I would like to guide Lucy to just like travel a big circle because I think it will chase her.
Sure.
And I would like to stay in between it and her to give whoever's in the library time to do whatever they're doing.
Okay.
So I would shout directions to her to like take a left or whatever.
Sure.
Like, take a left, I'm right behind you.
Okay.
And I would say
Alex is hanging out at the door, just doing something. We don't know.
Alex is also just hanging out.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to deal with Alex right now. He just snapped a guy's hand. I think it's going to chase Lucy. So I want Lucy to lead it away from the library, but I'm going to stick between her and it.
Sure. Great.
That's my theory. My theory is that it's chasing
You start to do
Lucy.
that.
Okay.
You grab Lucy. I'm going to say you have to go down to the ground floor to grab her.
Okay, that's fine.
Since she was already down there, and you start pulling her down the hallways on the ground floor.
Yeah. Yep.
Okey
I'm going to
doke.
stick with her and hope it chases us and not... Okay, we'll see what happens.
As you start running down the hallway to the ground floor, you notice coming down the hall towards you are Oaks and Shaughnessy, because they went down the stairway at the far end and are coming out the front. Can't make this shit up.
These
They're probably fine.
motherfuckers.
They're kind of helping each other along. They both seem a little bit shaken. Both of them are holding guns. Oaks seems to be holding a much smaller, like probably a boot holster gun that he had. They both see you, and they both look towards Lucy.
They still care about that shit right now?
You don't know what they care
Oh
about.
my god. If I get trapped between these motherfuckers and the worm monster because I'm with this fucking Lucy who's boning the professor.
Look. This is perfect. It's very cinematic. You couldn't have chosen a better thing for this movie.
I should have murdered these two a long time ago.
All right. Yeah, the two of them, look between the two of you and say, doors closed, and Oaks points back with his good hand and says, the door's shut at the fire escape, or the stairs exit. We tried it. He glances back towards the girl. We're staying with you.
You better fucking run, it's coming.
What the fuck is this thing?
Fell apart for a minute. It's reforming. We gotta run. We gotta keep it chasing us and shoot it when we can.
All right. You have they've fallen step beside you, for sure. You have worked with men of this caliber before to know they're eyeing up Lucy, and they know exactly who you are traveling with. And you are gonna guess that they're keeping in the back of their mind probably how they're gonna try to get what they came for.
Yep. Cool.
They also want to survive, but
yeah, I want to use them as meat shields.
all right, Alexander, you're at the front door.
So nobody else is around the front door?
No. So the you saw Amelia, the professor, Elizabeth, all go into the library area. So the door to your left. You saw Jimmy and Lucy head off towards your right into the office buildings, and you see Professor Morgan and Henry Armitage head off to the north. You don't see the creature for the moment.
Again, why you gotta say it like that?
I guess I'll follow Armitage
Okay.
and Morgan.
Sure. So they were on the second floor and headed through the same double doors that you saw Libby come through. So they're heading towards the amphitheater.
Okay.
So you kind of head up towards the second floor. You now see a mass, now probably about like crate-sized, of writhing worms building up into this lump, like 2 or 3 feet tall at this point, in the office hallway. And you rush through the double doors. You see them in there. What do you want to say or do?
Turn to them and say, the worms, they've gotten inside. You have to help me. Get them out.
Okay. The two of them look at each other, and you see Francis Morgan kind of opens up a bag, and inside the bag you see what looks to be a very old sword hilt, and then the camera sort of watches that through the doorway as the door shuts, and we're going to go to the next person.
Oh, shit.
All right, Libby.
Is he in the library with us right now?
Who?
Alex.
No, they went to the
Okay.
amphitheater.
Then I am going to continue to frantically read.
Okay, go for it.
Damn it.
God damn it. I'm going to push it. Oh, God, I don't want to ruin more books.
Ruin more books.
Yeah.
All right. So you may add 4 to your next
Ooh.
to the total here.
We're up to a
Oh, yeah.
10.
So,
I'm counting that as 5 successes then. So plus 10.
yeah, hard work counting this too. All right, so you keep reading. Do you want to say anything to the professor or Amelia as you go?
Well, it seems here that there's some sort of incantation to lock it away or store it or something. I don't know what happened to this page, and I keep reading.
All right, Amelia starts flipping through pages as well, but she doesn't seem to be coming up with anything. No successes.
Well, don't read that page. I've read it.
The professor's going to say, Miss Court, you dabble in this wizardry. Perhaps you can help us with the incantation. Not as much researching how to do it, but how to execute it.
I'll do what I can.
All right, I'm gonna continue to help Libby.
She does not look confident.
Nope.
You have a feeling that
Probably
maybe Anthony Flinders, the Satanist liar, may have oversold her witchness.
Well, probably better than us.
It's probably true. Maybe.
All right, libraries. Pachow.
You want to spend one of your luck to make it a hard success?
Oh, you should.
Yeah, what the hell? Just got some of that back. Not
Good,
bad.
good, good.
Is that 2 more successes?
That's 2 more successes.
Boom! Plus 14.
Okay. All right. Jimmy, as you are are traveling along with these 3, you're kind of watching behind, wanting to keep a pace on this thing. Last time you saw it was on the 2nd floor. You go and roll a listen check.
Ho, ho, ho.
Awesome. Okay. You hear like this tearing, creaking sound from above you, and you have enough time to react as the ceiling above you splits open, and this wave of worms shoots down in a big splat. You dive. I'm assuming of the 3 people, you're going to pull Lucy out of the way.
Yes.
Cool. So you grab Lucy and just slam her and yourself up against a wall as in the middle of the hallway slams this huge mass of worms, which almost instantly reforms into roughly the form of a man, about like 7-8 feet tall, which immediately starts shooting out these tendril-like appendages from its shoulders at one at you got yourself out of the way, so you're not the closest target here. So one at Shaughnessy, who also dives out of the way, and one at Oaks. Cool. Who does not dive out of the way?
Marist.
So the appendage kind of like pierces through Oak's shoulder, very like Starship Troopers style. So it looks like almost a spear that pierces through his shoulder. But as soon as it pierces through, it curves around and wraps over his other shoulder and starts to wrap around his chest. And he starts getting yanked toward this being. And you see his eyes kind of go blank, and his form kind of locks up as he begins to get raised off of the ground. He just for funsies, because there's different forms of horror. Here's the horror of numbers, guys. He suffers only 6 damage.
Okay.
He suffers. Let's pull you up. I got this. 1 Constitution damage, 3 Strength damage, and 9 Sanity damage. So
Seems fair.
as he gets raised off, you see his skin starting to turn gray as his eyes just sort of lifelessly. His mouth is open in the scream of terror, very similar to the one you saw on Lighter's face and on Lucy inside the diner. Yeah, he's now kind of held in a rictus above the ground. Jimmy, it's your turn.
I am going to. Does it look like it is like done with him? It's gonna spend some more time on him.
This thing is very alien.
Yeah. I am going to shout at Lucy and kind of give her a push to run back the way we came.
Sure.
And then I am going to take a shot at it and then follow her.
Okay. Roll it.
Oh my god. Okay.
Wow.
Damn, Rachel.
Nice.
You want to make it an extreme success?
Yep, fuck it, yeah, I do. Spend 4 of my luck. Yep. Jimmy's gonna die. Let's take this down with me. I spend 4 luck. I only have 11 left. It's fine. Extreme success. So that's max damage plus a d10.
Or plus whatever your weapon damage normally is, which I think is just your base
plus
weapon
2.
damage. Just your base. Oh, yeah. So just the d10.
Okay. So 12 plus
Okay.
13.
So you shoot into the thing. A mass of these worms just like fly out of it in a big chunk. As you kind of just shoot dead body center, and it just chunks of it flies out, and it seems diminished, but it is still holding Oaks aloft. And you're trying to move after her?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay between Lucy and it, but I'm gonna hustle us down the hallway
Sure.
as fast as I can.
At this point, Shaughnessy is going to roll his. Yeah. So he keeps it together, but he also. You kind of see Shaughnessy, who still you haven't heard say much. Just sort of like pauses for a second, and then just like lets out like an exhale and sort of a disappointed exhale, and then he raises his gun and shoots. The creature, and he actually seems to be moving slower than you, but he's gonna shoot the creature once, and he hits, not dealing as much damage, but the creature seems more staggered by the second shot, just cumulative damage, but it still seems to be holding Oaks aloft. Alexander, Dr. Francis Morgan has pulled out a sword as the camera zooms back into the balcony. It is slightly curved in make and seems to be made out of some kind of a bluish silver metal. But it's kind of a long, slender, curving blade, almost like a falchion or scimitar.
That Arab.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you definitely see this in Aladdin. So he looks towards you and says,
Oh, nice.
well, hold him, Henry. Hold him, Henry. But you can kind of get what they're wanting to do here, and they're not really asking permission. But at the same time, what do you want to do?
Alexander's just gonna close his eyes and nod.
Okay. So you kind of just try to hold your arm out.
Yep.
Make a sanity check.
Hold it still.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Good. So you hold your arm out and trying to hold it still. You feel your arm tensing up and you try to fight it, but as Henry Armitage is reaching out for you, you actually your hand just slashes out at him, backhanding him across the face. Go ahead and roll your brawl, please.
No one touches the great
No,
Alexander.
Not this time. Checking it off.
Check it off. That's right. All right. So as Henry Armitage, the old man, tries to grab onto your arm to hold it still, before you can grab onto you swing back and kind of crack him across the face, and he staggers backwards from you. Francis is going to attempt to slash at you anyways, I think. No, I don't think he would. He's not gonna risk it. He sees you trying to fight it still. So he's saying, "Fight it, son. You can do this. Hold your arm still."
I'm trying.
All right. We'll try again next round. Libby, you see. Maybe it's fine. Hidden check.
Okay.
Just for
Okay.
fun.
Don't like that at all.
Cool.
I don't see anything.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna continue to read this book.
Okay.
Oh God, why? Fuck.
That's a bad roll. Bad roll.
Can
You
I
guys are rolling
push?
awesome today.
Can I push a fumble?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Okay, that's better.
What I would say is if you push a fumble and you still fail, it will be real bad.
I just decided to burn the book.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you are able to get another check.
Okay. But
Also, as you are too caught up in the book to realize this until now, but as you're reading through the pages, you sort of glance down at the floor next to one of your hands. As I'm picturing you guys are kind of like kneeling on the floor and flipping through pages hurriedly down one of the aisles. You notice a pool of red kind of forming near your right hand on the floor, and you carry it back, and you see that there's sort of a little trickle of red leading from the wall towards you, where it's forming this pool that's now growing. But since you failed your spot hidden check, that is all you can do this round. You don't have a chance to react to that yet, other than say something.
guys, that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Hair Professor.
Hair Professor. All right. When she says "guys," do I notice?
Yes.
The pool?
I'm a guy.
All right. What kind of lighting is in here?
Electric.
Electric. Okay.
Mhm. Edison bulbs.
They're my favorite.
What do I want?
The pool at this point, when she yelled "guys," was maybe like 4 or 5 inches around.
Okay.
Now at this point, it's probably more like 1.5 feet. It's growing pretty quick.
That seems fine. We're gonna die.
So I have in my inventory, and I'm not quite sure why, an oil lamp.
Okay. I mean, they're fairly common.
Yeah.
I mean, at this time, it's just that most of the buildings of this university don't use them anymore. But you can have one, sure.
I would like to throw it at the puddle.
That I'm standing in?
Are you standing in the puddle?
Is it right
Right
below
next
me?
to you.
It's
No,
right
no.
next to you.
Next to
Okay.
you.
Okay.
It's right next to her? Is that
Mhm.
it? Okay. I will not throw the oil lamp then. That's probably going to... Okay. The professor's going to say, Livy, get away from there! And then I will throw the oil lamp. It's unlit. I will throw the oil lamp onto the blood splatter.
Okay.
If I can.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you don't even need to roll it.
Okay.
Oil splashes on the floor of this on the library floor here, splashing into the puddle. The puddle disperses for a moment into individual forms of worms now coated in the oil that you threw. Okay. Would you like to do anything else?
Not this turn yet.
All right. So the puddle inside the library continues to grow during its turn. It is going to continue to soul bind or soul gaze Oaks, who has to roll an extreme power
Extreme.
to break.
He totally did, right?
Nope, he didn't break it.
You
Okay.
got it.
That's why you failed with the hard. It says in the rules, gotta get an extreme.
Extreme.
So he is still held aloft, and he is drained further of his strength for another 1 con, another 6 strength, and another. Okay, that'll do it. You hear a moaning cry escaping from Oak's lips as his terrified visage is still locked in that screen. You see smoke and steam boiling out of his eyes in the front of his face. Jimmy, it's your turn. You're kind of turning the corner, so that's the last you see of Oaks.
Am I in range to shoot the thing?
Yeah, right before you go around the corner, sure.
Yeah, I'll shoot the creature and then get as far as I can with Lucy.
Okay.
You can't push attack rolls, can you?
I don't think you can.
Okay. Yeah. All right, I fire and miss and run with Lucy.
All right. You hear a gunshot behind you. Ready? Alexander, would you like to try to fight your arm again?
Sure.
All right, you may go ahead and roll a sanity check again.
Do it.
Yeah. So close.
I would say so. I'm using sanity. Actually, maybe it should be POW. What's your POW?
35.
So I think actually willpower is. We hardly ever use that stat, but I think willpower would work, and I'd let you spend luck if you wanted to.
All right, I'll spend luck. It'll be 7.
Yeah. If you want to spend 7 luck, I think
Okay.
that'd be fine.
I'll do that.
All right. So your luck in this instance is that Henry Armitage actually throws himself bodily on your arm, over your forearm, and you hear him let out a groan as your fingers sort of like instinctively kind of claw their way into his chest. You can feel your fingers like digging in between his ribs.
Delicious.
And there is a flash and pain as warmth immediately starts to spill over your arm. You're not even sure what happened until you see the shining silver blade now wedged into the wooden floor of the balcony, amphitheater balcony that you're standing on, and you realize that your arm is now severed at the elbow. He did not sterilize that, by the way.
Fuck.
All right. You can try to do an action. It'll be very difficult for you to do anything. But if you wanted to try to staunch the blood or do anything, you're welcome to try something since you haven't actually acted yet.
Yeah, I guess I'll try a first aid maybe to try to.
Sure. Totally.
Shit. There you go.
Oh,
Hard
nice.
success.
Nice. Oh, you, BT Dubs, are going to suffer 4 damage
Okay.
from that attack. Yeah, and then you're able to. You're kind of prepared for this. You, I don't know. Let's say you take your belt off and start wrapping it around with Armitage's help. You start wrapping it around your arm and making a tourniquet around your arm to staunch the bleeding. And in fact, even though it technically wasn't a grievous wound because you didn't get half of your HP, I'm pretty sure it counts as a wound. Are we fair with that? Is that fair?
I mean,
Fair.
losing my
He
forearm.
lost an arm.
I think that counts as a major wound.
That's pretty grievous.
So go ahead and check off major wound for yourself.
What does that mean?
So
Shit'll be fine.
if you hit 0 hit points with a major wound, you die.
Okay.
It also means that your wound is going to have to be tended to every once in a while, or until you get medical care, someone actually does a medicine check on you. You get a medical. Basically, someone's gonna have to keep rebinding your wound, redoing your tourniquet until you actually get to a hospital.
Okay.
That kind of thing. But yeah, the biggest thing is that you're now one step closer to being dead. All right.
Double dead.
So, Libby, this pool is. You hear the clatter and clash of the oil lamp spilling and breaking beside you. The pool itself is probably now like 3 feet in diameter. It seems to be bulging upwards. What do you do?
Fuck. Libby wants to run and jump onto a table,
Sure.
and I would like to roll my luck to see if I have a lighter.
Okay.
And then I'd like to throw it on the oil.
Sure.
And then if I have any time left, I'm going to keep reading.
No, I'll say that'll probably take your whole turn to do all that.
I light that shit on fire.
Yeah. Okay. So you throw the lighter out towards the oil, which catches, and these worms start to curl and flake as paper would, and they start to crumble away to ash and dust. However, there's also burning oil on a wooden library floor, surrounded by books.
I'm sure it'll go well.
There's a fire in the library. It's fine.
Quick, we have to end this.
All right. So you're up on a table. The massive worms seem to be dwindling and burning. Professor Milton Wagner, it's your turn.
Are there windows in this here part of the library?
Don't roll your luck.
I will not.
Yes, there are. One of the walls does have a few sets of windows along it. They seem to be obscured by a similar writhing mass of worms.
Are there any heavy objects nearby, like a paperweight or anything like that?
You could roll something to try to find one.
Yeah. I'll roll my...
Let's roll your luck, I think is probably...
Oh, that's wonderful.
I'm sure you'll be fine. Oh, you almost got it.
Not gonna push that.
You almost got it.
There's so many gifts happening.
I'm going to say, Libby, we have to get out of here.
I mean, there are easily identified. There are some chairs. You have your cane.
That's true. My cane.
You have your cane.
I'm gonna walk over and try to smash the window with my cane.
Sure. Go ahead and roll your brawl, please.
Got it.
Just pretend it's a sword.
Dang. Fumble time.
Okay. So you swing your cane towards the window, and as your cane approaches the mass of worms covering this window, it clatters off of it. You hear a crack as your cane breaks, and the worms themselves sort of like wrap around and hold on to this broken cane, wrenching it out of your grasp.
Okay. My cane!
Jeeves gave me that for Christmas. All right. Well, the horror and ink does not apparate inside the library this turn.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So Jenny, coming behind you around the corner, you see Shaughnessy is coming. He is just like jaws clenched and his guns lowered, and he's watching, but he seems to be hurrying around. Swiftly zooming around the corner, you see this mass almost like skidding, kind of Kramer style, around the corner. In its hands, you see the lifeless form of Oaks, gray, drawn and wrinkled, with a red spot in the middle of its forehead, as this lifeless form is just like chucked against the wall to the side and it slumps there.
Okay.
Seems as if Shaughnessy used his second shot to
shoot.
put his friends out of his misery.
Mm-hmm.
But the horror in ink zooms up towards all of you.
How is it going after him or us?
It's lunging towards the group of you.
Okay,
It's
so
hard to say. It's big.
He's caught up with us.
Yeah. It's moving fast.
Okay.
Yeah. Like Quicksilver.
That's its turn. Okay.
It is going to.
No.
No, yeah, that's probably its whole turn. You guys had a head on it. Yeah, so it's not quite caught up, but it looks like it's going to be caught up probably next turn.
Okay.
It's your turn, Jimmy.
I would like to keep rushing Lucy down the hall.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to stay between her and the creature, and I would like to keep Shaughnessy between me and the creature.
Okay. I mean, sure. It's going to be tough because he's probably also has similar ideas.
Right. He wants to book it and not.
None of you want to be close to this creature.
Yep.
In fact, you're a little bit at a disadvantage because you're trying to keep Lucy ahead of you.
Uh-huh.
And he doesn't care about that. You know what I mean?
Yep. Oh, shit. What would Jimmy do? I shoot him in the foot.
Who in the foot?
Shaughnessy.
Oh!
And then I run with Lucy.
Dick move, but amazing.
To try to shoot in the foot probably will be a penalty die to do a cold shot like that.
Okay.
You want to do it?
Yep, I'm trying to slow him down.
Go for it.
Oh my god, Jimmy, you're a dick. Okay. Okay, so penalty plus 1p for my revolver.
Mm-hmm.
You dropped a freaking double
Right.
0.
And I do 3 damage. But yes, my goal was to slow Shaughnessy down. And then I run with Lucy down the hall.
Okay.
Oh, Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy's not gonna be able to. Oh, he's gonna feel some guilt.
Mm-hmm.
It was a snap. It was a game time decision. Oh, Jimmy already feels bad. Okay, all right. Yep, run down the hallway. He runs down the hallway with Lucy.
Okay.
Shaughnessy can see the regret in his face.
Kenny?
I don't know. It's pretty blatant. Like Jimmy like hesitates and then like does it and like immediately regrets it. Yep.
Okay. You only dealt 3 damage. Okay. Yeah, so you shoot him in the foot, and he yells and lurches to the side, slamming up against the wall. He keeps continuing to limp after you, but he's clearly going slower now.
Okay.
Okay. So, what would Shaughnessy do? You just hear you see him just like lets out a huff like at you, and he turns around and kind of braces himself up against the wall and tries to take another shot at this thing.
Shoot it in the face.
He does shoot it. You guys have dealt 17.
80 damage.
Good bit of damage to it so far. All right, so he turns around and shoots it again, and this mass with another spray of worms starts to crumple to the floor in front of him as he lets out a little relieved sigh. But seeing that the thing is still just a puddle, You hear a silent "you motherfucker" behind you, and you see him starting to come after you. Again, he's going much slower than you, but he seems to be heading in your guys' direction.
Yeah, that was real fast. Okay. Yep, I'm gonna attempt to get Lucy around a corner.
It's not your turn.
Yep, as quick as we can
You
go.
see that the puddle on the floor, instead of forming up into, and watching it now, the number of worms that are in here are growing. Obviously, it's not like whenever these worms are pouring out of this body and this thing that the form is getting smaller. No, it almost feels like the form is getting bigger, and there's rivulets of worms that are constantly flowing out of it. In fact, as you look around, all of you can see that not only the doors and the windows, but the walls themselves are starting to be covered in these streams, spider-like webbing of these rivulets of red, covering the entirety of the walls, the ceiling, starting on the floors. And the beast itself continues to be growing, except, Jimmy, you notice now that it's been shot into a puddle, it doesn't seem to be forming back up into a mound again. The puddle seems to be dispersing, and the worms are joining with those on the walls, getting thicker and thicker. That's your turn. Hey, Alexander. You want to give Jimmy a round of applause for that shot? What do you want to do?
I guess we probably have noticed that the worms are growing on the walls and stuff too.
Oh yeah. Yep. Walls, ceiling. There seems to be like a vast web that's coating the entirety of the thing and getting thicker and thicker, where in many places you can hardly see the wall anymore.
All right. He's gonna say to the two professors, he's gonna say, we have to find Libby and Wagner. Whatever ritual, we have to do it now. There's no time.
All right, so they both kind of nod at you and start following you. Where do you want to lead them?
I think when I was at the door, I saw Libby at least going past, so I will go to the library.
Okay, so you guys start heading down. I'll say you're probably just getting to the library if you take your full turn, because you'll be heading kind of down the stairs through the gallery to the library. You notice Jimmy is now actually coming out to the gallery too with Lucy in hand. So you guys can have a quick interaction if you'd like as you're crossing paths.
Yeah, I'll shout to Jimmy, to the library.
He only has one arm.
Yep.
It's cool.
And Francis Morgan's holding a sword.
Cool.
Bloody sword.
Makes sense. I mean,
Yep.
Alex, maybe 30 feet or so behind Jimmy, you see kind of limping along the hallway, Shaughnessy, who's kind of like dragging this bloody foot behind him as he's sort of crawling along a wall, or leaning against a wall as he's sort of stumbling forward. And you see the walls and floor behind him are the thickest mass of these worms you've seen seems to be spreading out like a wave from behind him.
Alex is just gonna shout and kind of taunt at Shaughnessy.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get your money?
Nice. He doesn't say anything. Livy,
oh god.
You also see these, the similar things happening on the walls. They're actually spreading over the books. Tendrils everywhere.
Libby is going to flip the table out of the way. Like, just out of the way, like, move it, whatever I gotta do, to try to make more space on the ground, and then I'm gonna say, clearly there's multiple parts of this. Something about a sign and chanting. I'm not quite sure, but we've got to start somewhere, and I'm gonna start to try to pull out one of my pens and just kind of start making some signs on the ground.
Sure.
Professor, keep reading. There has to be answers. Amelia, do something about that fire.
All right, so you would probably understand this as well, Professor. What Libby is talking about is that the incantations and you kind of are reverse engineering what it looks like the witches did back in the day. What eventually got them convicted of witchcraft seemed to be actually some sort of spell to bind this creature from ever coming into this world. Something that Anthony Flinders did was to undo that binding and actually invite the creature into this world. But it seems to be you're trying to recreate what the, quote, witches did. But what you're seeing, what Libby is mentioning, is that there seem to be two components to this ritual, both a verbal component as well as a drawn symbols on the ground, some sort of a ritual circle component.
Okay.
So, Libby, you are attempting to do the signs.
Yep.
So you can gain help from somebody if you want, and you currently have Amelia and the professor with you. So either of them could help as their action for the turn, and it would give you a bonus die,
I'll help.
or both of them to give you 2 bonus die.
Cool. I feel
We'll
like that
both
might be helpful, right? Right? I mean,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Screw the fire. We'll do the components.
Okay. All right. So you're starting with the symbols on the ground.
Yep.
Okay. So you start to do that. Go ahead and roll your Cthulhu Mythos with a, what do you have? Plus.
We're at a +4 for 16.
So go ahead and put 16 in as your modifier and hit the +2B for +2 bonus.
Everything's gonna be great. Everything's gonna be great.
That puts you at like 20% chance. Bummer.
9.
So
9 luck.
freaking close.
So
9
you
luck.
no,
We can't
No.
spend it on Cthulhu. huh?
no.
What if I give him some of my
Cthulhu.
sanity?
Not on this one. This roll's too clutch to be lucked.
Too much.
Damn it, Amelia, you're getting in my way.
Sorry, I'm not a good witch.
Clearly.
So that is the two of you start working at this ritual, and you're getting things right. But some of the pieces just aren't fitting. It's not quite there. So that would be your turn as well, Professor. Would you like to? Are you just helping with that? Did you want to say anything else? All right.
I'll just help. Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Wait, Andy.
Yeah?
I have a question.
Sure.
So I rolled a 13.
Plus 16. Wait. Sorry.
So I think I would have succeeded.
Oh shit! You totally did succeed. No, you're right. It shouldn't have been.
Because I needed to hit less than 20, right?
Yes. So actually, it should have been a minus 16. I think.
Minus 16. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
I wanna
It
just-
should have been a minus 16.
I'm not re-rolling this. I just want to see if it actually does what I want it to do. Okay, yeah. Well, it should have been a minus 16, I think.
Yep.
Right?
Yep, you're right. No, you would have succeeded. Yes, you would have.
Sweet.
Okay.
No,
So in that
Amelia, you're right. Keep going.
I am a good witch. So the three of you actually, you're able to, with all those bonus die, you're able to kind of recreate bits and pieces. Each of you have found different pieces of information to recreate these physical sigils on the floor as you start to scrawl out the circle. Behind you, the fire begins to grow amongst the stacks of books.
Damn it.
Jimmy. Oh wait, no, that was the horror. Sorry, that was the horror and Ink's turn. I skipped all over that because we retraced. Boy, that would have been embarrassing.
God, why?
So we have 6 people in the gallery. 1, 2, 3,
why are you doing
4, 5, 6. Got it. Just give everyone a number.
Everybody's okay.
So me, Lucy, Alex, Armitage, what's
Okay.
his face?
Okay.
And Shaughnessy.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So you're kind of pushing Lucy ahead of you, and watching behind you as you see Shaughnessy kind of like slumping along the hallway and leaning along. You see the spreading mass of worms is like going like a crazy wave all along the walls and the floor, all over. And it's kind of reaching up, and he's leaning into these worms, which you can see them kind of like spilling over his arm and falling to the floor. And as you look back to push him away, you see a tendril shoot down from the ceiling towards Lucy.
Oh, God damn it.
And you hear her let out a cry as she's yanked up towards the ceiling of the gallery. You were technically had your hands on her if you'd like to try to make some kind of like opposed maneuver roll.
I would.
Okay, go ahead and roll your
Brawl?
yeah, and I'll roll its brawl. Regular success. Let's see if you can do it.
Regular.
It would have to fail.
It could do it. It could do it. It could fail.
These character sheets are tough. Okay. So you hear a tearing as you feel her being pulled from you, and with a jerk, the pulling is gone, and you see her body. You see her hurtling into the air, letting out a scream as like the sleeve of her shirt is left in your hand where you're clutching her arm. But she seems to be kind of like being pulled up towards the ceiling with this tendril kind of wrapped around her torso, and is sort of slowly turning her to face towards the red mass that's on the ceiling. That's what you see. Inside the library, you hear Amelia shout, "Over there!" And you see another puddle of red beginning to form at another spot to the north edge of the library, away from the fire. The library you would know is actually the farthest place away from the offices, so it's kind of the last one to be getting hit with the wave of worms. So you're not in as dire a spot, but it looks like there is some sort of lump forming, thickening of the worms far away. But the fire is spreading, and at least where the fire is, it seems to be keeping this red stuff back. Jimmy, it's your turn.
So she's just being pulled up towards the ceiling?
Yeah, she's probably about like 15, 20 feet above you at this point.
And how far am I from the library?
To the library door, you're probably only like 20, 30 feet away.
How far is she from the library door?
She's like dead center in the gallery.
Okay.
Pulled up towards the ceiling of the gallery.
So I won't be any further from her at the library door.
No, but you would be underneath the balcony. Like, you might not have a great line to shoot or to see her,
Okay.
because she's getting pulled probably above where like she would be blocked by the balcony.
Okay. I want to keep eyes on her, but move towards the library.
Sure. Any actions?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Can't really hold an action in this, can you?
I don't know.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
I would like to. If Shaughnessy's gonna shoot me, I would like to shoot him.
Sure.
And if she's gonna have like face sucking torture, I would like to shoot her.
What are you preparing for? Because you can't really watch for both of those.
All
things.
right, I'm gonna keep eyes on her. I'm gonna move towards the library so I can see if they need my help inside. But if she like starts getting like her life force sucked out, I'm gonna try to shoot her.
You see some smoke pouring out the top edge of the library door.
Oh shit. Okay. Oh my god. All right. Yeah. Yep. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay, you're watching her. Cool.
Yep.
You hear a similar timbre of "motherfucker" as Shaughnessy comes out of the hallway and just staring straight at you, Jimmy. As soon as he comes out of the hallway entrance, he is going to shoot at you.
God damn it. Okay.
You can dive for it if you want. He seems to have blinders up.
Yep. Yep.
So you're welcome to dive, which would give him a penalty to die, but you're going to be on the ground
That's
in case
fine.
anything else happens.
Yep. I'm gonna. Yep.
Okay. So he's going to have a penalty die, and he will shoot. That is a really good thing you rolled that. So the bullet flies past where you were, landing punching a hole probably in the door to the library, and he misses you barely. Alexander, you see this happening as Jimmy dives to the ground and is shot at as you see Shaughnessy over there. You also see, since you're in the gallery, you see Lucy kind of being yanked up into the air. You continue into the library, or what do you want to do?
I'm actually I'll pull out the gun that I took from Oaks, and I'll take a shot at Shaughnessy.
Okay, you got it. Go ahead and roll that firearms.
Close enough.
You want to spend that luck?
No, I'm not going to spend the luck.
Okay.
Yeah, I just take the pot shot and then I continue on to the library.
Probably when he sees you pointing a gun at him, I don't know that he would dive. No, it's fine. He's got hate blinders up at the moment. He just shot his best friend and then got shot in the foot by some punk from Jersey.
I was eaten by the monster. It was inevitable. I was just gonna say Lucy.
You guys have done a lot of damage to it at that point. He got a lucky last shot. So, all right, Libby, the fire is spreading. Now it's probably along an entire third of the library wall.
How far away? How much time do I have, and how far away am I from it?
So, from the mass of red.
Well, yeah, because right now I'm kind of rocking a hard place.
Yeah, you definitely are. You're probably about 20 feet from both at this point. It's starting to get warm in here, though.
Shit.
But it looks like you guys have managed to scrape out a pretty good ritual circle with pieces of chalk that you found in a random chalkboard in here. So, what would you like to do? It'll take that once the chant has started, it will take a little bit of time to continue the incantation, to say the entire chant.
Balls.
Do you want to spend some more time looking through papers, or do you want to roll the dice?
Incantating.
I think I need to start. I need to start chanting.
Okay.
I don't want to start chanting. I want to take more time, but I need to start chanting.
Sure. This is good.
I hate everything about this.
Sure. Are all three of you going to be assisting with this again?
Yeah.
I'm gonna shout into the hallway. Guys, Well, have I heard them yet? Like, have I heard people coming up? There's been,
Oh
like,
yeah,
shouting
you hear
and
the
shit.
gunshots happening from outside. There's a bullet flies into the library at some point through the door. You heard the scream of Lucy outside.
I'm gonna shout, Jimmy, if you're out there, we could really use your help. And then I'm assume hold hands in a kumbaya fashion with the professor and Amelia and start chanting.
Okay. Why don't Professor? You didn't get to roll anything last turn. Why don't you roll this one?
Oh God, you
We
can
get
do
to
it.
add the modifier.
Yep. So it'll be minus 16 is the modifier, and then plus 2 bonus dice.
You got it.
Minus 16.
We gotta hit a 20
plus
or less.
2 bone. Plus 2 B. B.
20 or
Here we go.
less.
Cthulhu Mythos go.
no,
Oh,
that's what
15.
you wanted. We needed to get less than 20.
No. No. So the minus 16 accounts for the less than 20.
Oh.
We just should have scrapped the modifier because that doesn't really matter. So you rolled a 31, which is more than 20.
Yeah. So okay, I get it.
So
Everything's great.
the even with everyone collaborating, the words just aren't clicking together. You're not finding the right order of the incantation yet. But that'll take care of both Libby and Professor this round. Unless you want to say anything else or shout out any orders, Professor.
Nope. Got nothing.
All right. All right. The horror in ink is going to pull Lucy closer toward it, and you see her arms go limp as she's kind of getting dragged towards the ceiling. You see Shaughnessy is sort of like raising his gun again to be shooting towards you, Jimmy, as a thick tendril shoots out from the wall and slams into him, and he kind of like slams into the wall on the opposite side of the hallway that he was coming out of. So it kind of slams him from one side to the other, and he lets out a hefty "Hoo!" and seems to be hurt by the slam. Inside, the fire continues to spread, which is actually keeping the horror at bay for the most part. You can see the puddle that was forming as the fire is spreading and the warmth in here grows. The puddle sort of like retracts from the heat and is lingering back towards the walls. So as uncomfortable and possibly dangerous this is about to get with the fire, it seems to be helping with the horror. Jimmy, your turn.
Is Alex in the library at this point?
You could have gone into the library if you wanted to, Alex.
Yeah, I think I would have.
So the only ones out here are me, Lucy, and Shaughnessy.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And the horror.
Right. Lucy's just limp. She's not like screaming or anything.
She looks like Oaks did as he was getting drained, as you felt.
But I wasn't like in pain or anything.
No, I mean, you were terrified. You remember feeling terrified. And you remember seeing the look on like Oaks' face and Leiter's face and Lucy's face.
I want to shoot Lucy.
Okay.
In the face.
Can I give myself a penalty die for a called shot for like an insta kill? Or is that even a thing?
No,
or
that's
like
not even a thing.
Can you do like a called shot for like bonus damage
I
or
don't know.
anything?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think that's actually a thing.
Okay. I just want to.
You just want to shoot her.
I just want to end it fast for her.
You just want to shoot her.
Yeah. I want to like shoot her in the leg or something, though, and have her just get paid on top of.
You gotta roll it.
Jimmy
Okay.
Marty Hurtig, no, not the leg.
Fuck!
Oh, you just totally miss her.
Another gunshot fires out into the gallery.
Fuck! Jimmy yells "fuck," and then I go to the library.
Okay. All right. Oaks and Shaughnessy. Well, just Shaughnessy at this point. I'm going to delete the Oaks part of that. There it is. You don't know what happens. You hear another gunshot from outside. All right, Alexander, you're now inside. You see the three of them are standing over some papers. They seem to be discussing kind of quietly or quickly amongst themselves, like where they think they went wrong with the incantation. You see that there is a fire probably 15 feet wide and spreading along one wall of the library. And there are these red tendrils which seem to be recoiling from the fire, but finding places where they can coalesce and form. It looks like the being is aware that it needs to stop whatever is happening in here. What do you do?
I just shout, "We need to finish now. What do you need?" And then I guess I'll try to help them in some way.
Do you want to try to look through the papers? Or do you want to try to assist them with the chanting?
I guess I'll try to assist with the chanting.
I reach out my hand.
Yeah, I'll grab Libby's hand and kind of follow her lead.
Sure. So I think you can only have a maximum of 2 boost dice, 2 bonus dice. But that may free up somebody else to look at, to like try to give you another +2 or whatever.
We can make the professor.
Yeah, I don't think you want me doing library use check.
Sure. So I'll leave up. You guys are all acting basically on the same initiative, so you can work it out amongst yourselves because you have Amelia there too.
I think the professor should be looking at the book and giving us pointers. You have the best library use.
Library use. Chapowie.
Do we have the Armitage and what's his name in with us?
Yes, they are. Good call. So you see Francis Morgan kind of takes a defensive stance, facing towards the walls with the sword, and Armitage actually charges up to the papers, and he'll help as well.
Come on.
So you can have another 2 checks, two pluses. So one for Professor Milton Wagner and one for Professor Henry Armitage.
Oh, okay.
Both regular successes.
Got it.
So that'd be now you need to. That's +20, right? So you need to be 24 or less.
24. We got a 1 in 4 chance.
Better than that because you got the bonus die.
So
2 bonus dice, and I wouldn't even add a modifier just because I don't.
Alright, so I'm gonna roll 2 bonus dice as I begin to chant with the great Alexander
and Amelia.
Amelia Bedelia. Let's do this.
You're getting so close, and the words just seem to escape you. As you can feel the incantation forming, and then it just slips away as the phrasing just falls apart between the 3 of you, and it's so close, but just not quite there. Dun, dun, dun.
Damn it, Professor, we're missing something.
Alexander has to get rid of the accent.
It's skewing everything.
1, 2, 3.
Chant with me if you wish to live.
Right.
Check the footnotes.
All right. With that, the walls begin to bulge and writhe as you can see these telltale tendrils start to flick out, and one of them is going to shoot out towards Jimmy.
Jimmy, look out.
Cool.
I need you to roll either a dodge or a counter maneuver as this thing is trying to attack you.
Make
Counter
good roll.
would be brawl.
That would be brawl, but you'd have to beat its.
I'm gonna dodge. I'm dodging.
Sure.
Oh,
Get out of there.
I don't think it's going to succeed. So the thing lunges out towards you, and you've seen this a few times. You've seen what it can do. You anticipate where it's going to move, and you kind of like slide out of the way, gun in hand. It is now your turn. You see these masses forming on the walls. You've seen the bullets do stop these masses, and you can see that the fire also seems to be keeping it at bay from one side of the room. But you've seen at least that dispersing the masses with bullets has seemed to like slow it down and cause it to take some time to recoalesce.
Okay.
But it's your turn. What do you want to do? You see them working over books. You see them trying to chant. There's a lot of options.
Shaughnessy is just gonna come to the library and shoot me in the fucking back. I'm gonna die because Shaughnessy's gonna shoot me. I am gonna take a shot at the largest mass. Is there one that's larger than the others, or are they just the ones in the library, the tendrils? Is there a mass that's bigger?
They fluctuate, but there are some that are like closer to your friends.
Yeah, I will. A big one that is closest to them working on the thing. Yep.
Sure, you see a nice juicy one on the ceiling that's forming on the ceiling above them.
Let's go. Don't call it juicy.
Juicy chunk.
It's chunky too. It's a juicy chunky pickle. Got it. Nice. So a gunshot rings out in here, and you hear a spattering of and pattering of all these forms like falling to the ground as this big chunk of chunk again
Chunky
of the mass on the ceiling seems to fall apart with a gunshot.
Then I would like to place myself, I don't know, where I have like good vantage and maybe like further from the walls, or
Sure.
I don't know, just so I can see everything, including the door to this room.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Alexander, what are you doing this round? You gonna keep assisting?
yeah, just assisting.
Okay. You guys want to try the same thing this time with the same people?
Yeah, Professor, I think you should keep trying to
Get those book rolls.
roll for books.
Read their books.
Yeah.
Hard success.
That's another 2 successes.
Okay. So
And then I'm going to roll for is actually a failure from Henry Armitage.
Armitage.
You did say 2, right? So I'm adding 4.
Right. Yep.
Okay. Trying to keep track.
All right.
So we need 28
Alex-
now.
28. Alexander, do you want to roll the percent this time?
Do it.
Sure.
Just roll your percent. Try to beat 28.
With 2 bonus die.
2 bonus.
And 2 bonus die. Can't forget those.
Come on, one-armed man.
Killing me slowly!
Getting ever closer, ever closer. All right. You.
Okay.
All right. Now. What is going on? Okay.
So many gifts.
So many.
Professor
Yes.
Oh,
Milton Wagner and
Is gonna be just
Professor or Dr. Francis Morgan, both. You both see masses are going to shoot out tendrils towards two of you this time. Actually, no. Sorry, the one that was. I forgot the three in the middle really weren't going to be eligible bachelors because you guys were protected by Jimmy this round.
Woo, Jimmy!
So instead, yeah, it's just going to be Francis Morgan. He tries to dive out of the way, but you see his shoulder is pierced in a similar way to Oak's, and the tendril kind of starts wrapping down his upper arm down to his elbow, and he starts getting yanked by his arm towards one of the walls. And you can see he immediately shuts his eyes as he gets pulled, and he just starts blindly swinging his sword at wherever he thinks the tendril is. That is the horror in Ink's turn. Also, everyone in the room, please roll me a sanity.
Oh, I'm sure that's gonna be great. You guys didn't need Libby's help, right?
Jimmy's losing his shit.
Because Libby's not good at sanity.
Does the fumble matter on a sanity check?
No.
Okay,
makes
good.
sense in the morning.
Right. Okay, so everyone who failed will suffer.
Whoa.
I only rolled a 1. You only suffer 1 sanity.
That
So
makes
those
sense.
who made it will also only suffer 1 sanity. So everyone suffers 1 sanity, but are feeling very shaken.
I feel so shaky.
Mm-hmm. All right, Jimmy.
I'm going to shoot the mass that snagged what's his face?
Alrighty. Go for it.
Oh. You got luck to spend.
Nope.
Alright. So you shoot at it, and he continues getting yanked forward. Alexander.
Helping with chanting.
Alright.
Chanting. Professor, roll a book check. For the love of God.
Bookies.
Alright, that's a success for the professor and a hard success for the other professor.
Oh.
6 more.
So
You can
30.
do it.
Yeah. And then, so that's that. Okay. Yeah, so I gotta hit a 34.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Abe.
No pressure. There's double zeros.
Alright. So you didn't even need that plus 30. You didn't even need it. You rolled a 4.
Yeah, I got there. It just took forever.
Alright, so the chanting finally clicks together, and as the words roll out of your mouth, it's almost as if they take on a life of their own, and the chant seems to sort of take over for you as you find the energies of this incantation begin to pour through the three of you. You join hands in a triangle, Libby, Alexander, and Amelia, and continue your chanting. You are locked in place as the chant continues, and will be until it finishes, or you perish.
Okay, everything's great.
Oh, someone's gonna have to hold on to Alexander's tongue.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
latched onto it.
All right, it's juicy.
Oh god, it's moist and juicy. It's fine.
Yeah, it's
Probably
juicy.
chunky.
All right. So everyone else sees the three of them as they start to chant. Their eyes almost glaze over as they start standing still, swaying ever so slightly in a kind of kumbaya fire circle kind of way. But all of them are just sort of like blank stares, just glazed over as the incantation has taken them over. Also, you see tendrils creeping up from the ground, wrapping around their legs as they're no longer moving around enough to prevent the writhing mass, the horror and ink, from attacking their bodies. The Francis Morgan is going to slice at this tendril that's attacking him. Oh shit, he succeeds! So he slashes at it and slumps to the ground, shaking his arm off and scrambling away like crab style away from the wall. As he does so, several more tendrils erupt from the walls as they weren't shot away this round. Jimmy, please roll your dodge. Professor, please roll your dodge.
Oh,
Oh my god, Professor.
Hard.
I was like, 34 is good. No.
Not much of a dodger.
Nope.
I mean, falling would probably injure him.
Sure. All right. So, Professor, as you are attacked by one of these tendrils, it wraps around your chest and begins to crush and pull you towards one of the walls. Actually, probably towards the ceiling. So you're yanked from your feet, and you suffer 4 damage as you start being pulled towards the ceiling. What is your max is 15. You're good. Okay, so you start getting yanked towards the ceiling. Jimmy, you are up.
So is there a way you can take? Am I misremembering that you can take a second action at a penalty? Like you can do 2 actions.
I think you're misremembering.
Okay. I thought you
Canon
were do
Star
twice
Wars
and
RPG.
I would have penalties.
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay. So there are tendrils wrapping around their legs, but they're still little. Or the big one has Professor.
I don't know what big one.
Well, the one of them's pulling the Professor towards the ceiling.
Yep.
But the ones that are around,
They're everywhere. I mean, the walls are just a writhing mass. There's
said,
not
like,
big ones.
the tendrils are going around like the chanter's legs.
Yeah, there are like basically tendrils that have snaked along the floor and are now writhing up their legs as well. Aren't doing anything at the moment.
All right. I am going to shoot at the one that's got the Professor. Fucking shit fucks.
Do it.
And then I am going to attempt to like get some fire. How much furniture?
I'm taking your action.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, can I move towards the fire?
Sure.
Okay, I move towards the nearest fire.
Alrighty. So I'm moving towards the fire. I mean, the fire is pretty big at this point. Everyone's starting to cough as the smoke is enveloping this room as well. Professor Milton Wagner.
Oh no!
You were being dragged towards the ceiling. I'm skipping everyone else to go to you first. You were being dragged by this tentacle. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna try to stab it with my kitchen knife, I guess.
All right.
Hey! Regular success.
All right. So you stab into the tendril and wrench it in. It's not actually that hard. Like just like you saw the Francis Morgan sort of cut right through it with the blade, and it dispersed it pretty quickly. It's the same with the kitchen knife. As you slice through it, it actually releases you, and you do fall.
Oh, broken hip.
You may roll a track.
A track.
Track. No, wait. I was thinking like track and field, not track. I guess a jump. Go ahead and roll a jump.
tracking that ground as it gets closer to you.
Hell yeah!
Superhero landing. Yeah. So you
Why is
managed
the
to
professor better at combat than me?
This is amazing. 3-point landing.
chopped off a ghoul's head. Yeah, so you land adeptly on the ground, kind of rolling with it, and you suffer no further injuries. I thought for sure you were going to break a leg or something. So you roll on the ground next to your friends who are doing the chanting. Friends doing the chanting. Would you all please, 3 of you, I will roll one for her. Please make a sanity roll.
Nope. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Good.
Okay.
So both of you will suffer 1 sanity damage, and you hear a voices echoing in your brain saying, "Release me, I must not be contained." And one last roll. So the voices and beneath it all, beneath the chanting that's sort of taken over, the subconscious tells you that you feel this writhing form, tendril snaking up your legs, sort of starting to squeeze onto your calves and knees as the mass below you is starting to grab hold and envelop your legs. Subconsciously, you can feel that happening, which is what the sanity is from.
Mm-hmm.
I need you all to roll willpowers, please.
Willpower.
Pow! It's your pow.
Oh,
Roll your
no.
pow.
Oh.
Okay.
Pow.
Pow, pow. All right. The chanting continues, and as the 3 voices reach a crescendo in this chanting in a language you all can barely recognize, some form of Latin mixed with something you don't really know. Suddenly you see above you, Professor, you notice at first, you notice the mass above you starts to turn darker and darker red until it's almost a black, and then spreading like a wave over the entire walls and ceiling, this mass crumbles away into like a dust-like ash that dissipates into the air as the horror and ink melts from the ceilings, the walls, the floors, and the 3 chanting folks grow silent, gasping as it ends. The fire still rages in the library, however. But you can swiftly see this being melting away from the ceilings and everywhere as you hear a dwindling voice yelling, "I will not be contained!"
Contained, son.
Can I throw the papers onto the fire?
You absolutely may.
Yep. Libby, without even a word, just like walks over and just throws them in the fire.
Jimmy wants to go check on Lucy, but he doesn't want to just like run out the hallway because Shaughnessy will shoot him if he's still out there.
What are you going to do? The library's on fire. What are you going to do?
He's
There are now windows that are clear.
windows to the outside.
The door.
He's gonna go like peek out the door before he goes in the hallway.
Okay.
I just don't want to like run out of the hallway and die because Shaughnessy shoots me after all of this shit.
That would be some shit.
Damn.
That would be some horror movie shit.
I also need to go check on Lucy.
Okay. What are you going to do? You just tell me what you're going to do.
I peek out the door.
Okay. As you peek on the door, you do see that there is a the woman's form, Lucy's form, is lying twisted in a heap in the middle of the gallery floor.
Nope.
The double doors that go into the amphitheater are ajar on the ground floor. And there's no sign of Shaughnessy.
All right. Lucy's on the floor below us, or she's on the floor we're on?
She's on the ground floor in the middle of the gallery.
Okay, we're on the second floor.
No, you're on the first floor.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm gonna go check on Lucy.
Okay. She is a twisted, desiccated husk.
Gross. Okay.
Her arms and head seem to be kind of like twisted akimbo. Head kind of twisted over her shoulder a little bit.
Cool. Yep.
And her mouth is open in the same terrified, grimacing scream.
I'm gonna look down for Shaughnessy.
You don't find him.
Okay.
Does anyone, before escaping, does anyone do anything about the fire? Not that they're... I don't know what you could do, but I just wanted to know if anyone tries to do anything about the fire.
I mean, are there... I'm assuming it's pretty out of control at this point.
It's pretty big. The good news is most of this building is made of stone, so probably the whole humanities building isn't going to like go up in flames.
Yep. Nope.
But it's very possible that the entire library is going to be toast here.
I mean, that's maybe a good thing. I mean, what else is hiding in this place? Nope. It's time to get the hell out.
Mm-hmm.
Unless there's like a fire extinguisher on the wall, then no, I'm leaving.
Mm.
I can roll my luck.
Sure. There's a fire extinguisher. Yeah. You want to try to use it?
Yeah. I mean, what do I know about it? I pulled the pin and I shoot the
floor. Yeah, you sort of start to help some of the fire. You can also hear that there are some fire sirens coming from... Someone must have spotted the smoke coming out of the building. So there seem to be sirens approaching. But what little help you gave will probably salvage some of the books from this collection and keep things from going.
Quick, we've done our part. Let's leave.
The night grows quiet, and you all are able to abscond from the scene if you so wish. But this small chapter in the story of the Crimson Letters is over. I do have a quick little denouement if you guys are okay with a couple minutes of denouements.
Sure. Hell to the yes.
Okay. I'm going to run through, basically I thought it would be cool to run through quickly what happens to some of these cast of characters, the ones that survived. I should delete a couple of these.
Bye, Lucy.
Bye, Lucy.
Bye, Oaks. Yes, Shaughnessy's still out there.
Mark Hudgens, after surviving his attack by the horror of the ink through Cecil, he keeps working in the sanatorium as an orderly. He walks with a limp now, but is now more wary of things beyond this earth and acts as a contact to the Knights of Arkham in the future. So you guys may be hearing from Mark in the future. He was the orderly you guys talked to. The Arkham Knights themselves, all of them survived, and you guys never actually met the third of them because he was out of town, but they do their best to safeguard the papers. Nope, they're burned.
They're burned them. Sorry.
But safeguard the knowledge of this entity as best they can, and they swear that they'll keep their work going to try to build a safe place to hide these sort of dangerous artifacts, keep them from those who would release them again. Amelia Clark, now that she doesn't have a mentor with Leiter, is seeking a new mentor and would seek probably either Milton Wagner or Henry Armitage, as she is knows them, feels like she knows them much better after this ordeal, but hopes to continue working to help fight the mythos in some capacity. So I leave that up to you, Dave. What happens with that? Finally, I'm assuming that at some point one of you would go back to unconsidered trifles to investigate whatever happened with Abner Wake. You approach the city block where the antique store used to be, hoping to gain some insight into the former owner and his role, if any, in all of this. What greets you is a ruined and charred husk where the shop used to be. As you are about to leave, a waifish boy crosses the street where he was playing with his friends to approach you. "A man told me to look for you," the boy says, awkwardly standing in front of you, as only the young can do. "He paid me a quarter to give this to you." The child holds out a small parcel, a tan paper envelope. Inside, you see a key, which you are able to track down as a safety deposit box to the Bank of Arkham. There, you are shown into a private room to view this box, and inside you find several broken pieces of metal, what seems to be the remains of a sword, a saber, a matching saber to the one that Professor Wagner used in his fight. Under these shards lies a neatly folded piece of paper with a message written in pristine, thin, curving lines of cursive. "Your unfortunate meddling in things far beyond you left me no choice but to relocate my business ventures. The cost of this is dear, and I will not forget the impudence of your actions.
Yeah.
My work in Arkham is far from over, so be sure that we will meet someday. Yours, Mr. Wick. P.S. Hector wanted to send you a matching sword after seeing what you did to Carla with the first one."
Nope.
And with that, our survivors have made it through this ordeal. Though to this day, to the end of his days, Alex always has a lingering feeling of some
Not having
itching
an arm. Oh.
and wiggling in what remains of his arm. And his vision sometimes clouds with red when he sees himself in the mirror. And that is the end, my friends, of the Crimson Letters.
GG.
Very good. That was
Oh.
good.
That was good. That was a little tense. I thought we were
Good.
gonna die real bad.
I wanted to be tense. There's a lot going on. That was how I hoped it would go. That was fun.
Fucking
mean-
Shaughnessy and Oaks.
Yeah.
Up until the end, those bastards.
I wasn't expecting Jimmy to shoot first.
He feels he does not feel great about that.
Yeah, I will say you never see find the body of Shaughnessy.
Yep. Cool.
Well, thanks guys. That was fun.
GG.
Those are very cool. I have been I've been keeping that adventure close to the chest, obviously, so you guys shouldn't read it. But now that it's over, I encourage you guys to read it because it's crazy.
That was fun.
It was from the